So hi everybody, we're today going to be breaking down a crown of broccoli. And what I'm going to do is show you how to do this in a very cool way that's going to allow us to use the florets as well as the stem, okay? So it's going to maximize our use of this product. We paid for the whole thing, so we want to use the whole thing, right? We don't want to throw much or any of it away. So we're going to set up our knife station and we're going to use the stem end of this broccoli as kind of a handle. So in my what would be the guide hand, if we're using the rolling technique, we're going to hold on to that crown of broccoli. And this is not using the rolling technique, so we're going to get into our knife and we're going to actually use the tip of the knife to trim those pieces of broccoli florets. Notice too, you see this leaf right here? So we talked about vegetables in their categories. So broccoli is a flower vegetable. It does have leaves though, right? Because it's a plant. So the leaves aren't the star of the show. It's not what we're going to use. So I'm just going to throw that in the discard bowl. So we'll pick a couple of those leaves off. There's usually not a lot of those leaves, but go ahead and remove those. Then get into your knife, hold it by the stem, which is going to act as our handle, and we're going to go ahead and just trim very, very quickly and easily florets. Ideally, these florets are going to be similar in size, if not the same in size. So you can see that as I trimmed, I've got some small pieces and I've got a really big piece. So this you might even be able to just break with your hands to make it the same size or similar in size. That's important so that these cook at the same rate. So now I've got my floret pieces, right? I'm going to put these into a bowl and set these off to the side for right now. We'll clean up our board a little bit. And now we're looking at the stem, right? Most at-home cooks will just throw this away. So again, we paid for it, so let's go ahead and use it if we can, right? So the outside portion of the broccoli stem is really tough and rubbery, and it's kind of thick too. So we want to get rid of it. It's not real palatable. The texture is really kind of nasty in your mouth. So we're going to trim the edges off and expose the center, which is a nicer texture. So I'm going to take my chef's knife again, still not using the rolling technique, and we're going to go ahead and trim the edge of the side of this off. So watch how this works. We're going to pick the knife up off the board again. We're going to slice through it. Okay. So here's what I've removed. The outer part is real tough and rubbery. The center part is a nicer, delicate, more delicate texture. I'm going to go ahead and pass that around so you can feel the difference. So now I've cut a flat side to this stem as well. So what I'm going to do is roll it onto that flat side so that it's safer to cut, because now it's not going to roll all over the board. So with the guide hand positioned so that we're cutting safely, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with the next side of this broccoli stem. So again, here's the panel that we've removed. We're just going to throw this in the discard bowl because that's that tough, rubbery outer layer. So now I'm going to turn it on the next side, the next flat side, do the same thing until we're left with this, okay? So we've got a cubed off stem of broccoli. From here, we're going to cut slices. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, using the same technique, I'm going to cut some relatively thin slices of broccoli. So they end up looking like panels. This is really an important step to the process, that we get these panels, and you'll see why in just a moment. So here's what we're looking at now. Some nice thin panels. We're going to throw this into a saute pan, and we're going to cover it till it just comes submerged into some water. So I have maybe a half of an inch, if that, of water now on the bottom of this pan. We'll season that with a little bit of salt to flavor the broccoli stems, a little bit of salt, and we'll get that on the heat. Okay, we can cover this then to heat it up more quickly, right? So I have it on the highest flame because we're going to bring this water to a boil. Now we want these florets then to be suspended above that boiling water. So then that cooking method that we're going to use with the florets is now different than what we're going to use for the broccoli stem pieces. So we're boiling the stem pieces, And since we're suspending the florets above that boiling water, we're going to steam. Okay, we're going to steam the florets. That will be a nicer, more delicate cooking method for these stems, which if you submerge them in boiling water, they're probably going to get mushy on us. So we'll go ahead and see the color difference in just a moment as well. While that comes up to a boil, I want to show you also your ingredients for making bechamel. So we're going to have some flour. We're going to have some flour and fat here to make the roux. Okay, we're starting there. We can flavor it with a little bit of salt, and then we're going to add our dairy liquid. I've got some whole milk for you tomorrow. And then we're going to add a little bit of cheddar cheese to turn this into a cheese sauce. Okay, this cheese sauce then will be served over top of your broccoli tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get back to the broccoli. Because now our water is boiling, I can see the bubbles are rapidly rising from the bottom, breaking the surface of the liquid, and they're breaking the surface vigorously. So I'll uncover this, and now I have these panels that are just submerged in the water. I'm going to place the florets on top of those panels. So the panels actually act as our steamer basket. So this is a great technique to use with broccoli if you don't own a steamer basket at home. Because you don't need it. It also saves on dishes because it's a one pan method of preparing the broccoli. So if we're steaming, of course, we have to trap the steam in. So we'll want to cover that back up with our lid. And one thing that I want to show you, to make note of, is the color difference that's about to happen. So when you look at raw broccoli, you can see that it's green, but it's more of a dull green. When you cook it properly, it turns to a nice, bright, vibrant green color, and we'll see that difference here real soon. When you overcook broccoli, and this is unfortunately where most people go wrong, and why a lot of people I think don't like broccoli because they eat it overcooked, it turns like a brown color, like a dark brown, and then it's mushy as well. So I believe that that's why a lot of people grow up not liking this vegetable, because it's just not prepared correctly. So now that it's been boiling for a little bit, I don't think it's done yet, but I do want to show you the color transformation. So let me hold up just one piece here. I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not, but hopefully from your seats you can. You see that color change? It really looks nice, right? So we want to maintain that vibrant color by not overcooking it. So we'll go ahead and let this cook for just a little bit longer. And then, this is just what I'm choosing to do. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of butter, solid butter, which will melt in the pan, and a little bit of garlic powder. And then I'll add some salt and some black pepper just to flavor this up. We'll toss it in with the broccoli gently because we don't want to destroy the florets. And then we'll have some nice garlic butter flavored broccoli. Okay. Question, Michaela?
If you overcook the broccoli, doesn't it lose all the nutrients?
The more you cook the broccoli, yeah, the more nutrients will be leached out of it. That's a really good point as well. So that's another reason why we don't want to overcook our broccoli. So thanks for asking that question. I have a paring knife here, and this is going to be important for when you cook your own broccoli to stab at the broccoli pieces as they cook to test for doneness. You want to do a paring knife because it's sharp. And we'll just make sure that this is cooked well. So that's a wrap. See you guys tomorrow.